Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Byeolihaetarot. I haven't made another single episode for like the longest time, and I'm glad I'm finally have the time to actually grounding myself and doing some work toward it. So today's going to do what should you do for the next chapter of your life. So no more talking, let's just go straight to the point, and I hope I'm going to see you guys on the camera very soon later. But for now, this is all that I can offer. So we have three pies: pie number 1, pie number 2, and pie number 3. I will leave the stamp below the description, so click on the pie that you choose and shall we go? Hi, pie number 1. If you skip the intros, I want to say that it's okay. And hello, long time no see. If you don't know me, or you know, if you've been following the channel for a long time, or like this just happened to accidentally pop up for your page, but I haven't done one of these for like really long time. So I hope I'm gonna get the energy right, and I'm a little bit nervous, so that could link to your next chapter or your feeling about your next chapter. But we're gonna see about all of the advice on what should you do for your next chapter. 1 second. Usually I would pull all the card out before, but today I would just like like kind of like go with the flow. So yeah, let's see what should you do for the next chapter of your life. Right, I have the advice already. Oh my gosh, this is so messy. They all fall out at the same time. I guess that can be like a lot related to when I said that, oh, I'm feeling a little bit nervous. I usually not this type of nervous because well, yeah, I mean, when you start to do something that you really like, you would want it to be perfect. You would want it to be like no mistake, no NG, no just go with the flow, but like as well at the same time you would want it to be like, okay, let's do this for real. Let's not playing around. Let's not, you know, let's not losing our mind. Let's not lost during directions or whatever. And so yeah, I felt somehow nervous. So I guess that you already know at this point of your life is that you're going to go to the next chapter, you're going to the next season. And so that's why you are a little bit of nervous, because you're like, okay, I am moving because I have no choice but to moving forward. But that doesn't mean that I am skilled enough. That doesn't mean that I am aligning with like the perfect and the higher self right now. So everything I do, I feel like it's a mess. I feel like I'm not good enough. Like, how dare am I going to be that type of person in this type of position when I am not skilled enough? This is the type of energy to feel like. But you have to understand that before moving into this next chapter, you have already have all of those years before you that have built up over time. It's making me thinking about myself, right? Because usually when people in my real life they ask me about my tarot professions, I would be like, no, I'm not really sure about that. I don't dare to become like a teacher, like a mentor, because I feel like, oh, I'm not skilled enough. I don't really dig deep enough. I really don't have all the basic, and I never really went to any like training classes. It's just like it comes to me naturally. So yeah, I don't feel like I'm enough. But when in reality, I might be a little bit arrogant, but self-love, self-confidence is really needed. So, but in like reality, I'm the one who's being like, I have been in this industry. I have been familiar with divination tools. I have been there. I've learned. I done so much research on my own. Maybe I don't remember the most part of it, but what I could subconsciously remember, it is still there. And I have do tarot reading for like 8 years, 9 years. That's a long time, right? That's really like a long time. Like I just need 1 or 2 more years that I can already be called like an expert, because I've learned and I'm really, really familiar with all of these divination tools, all of the divines. I've connected to the spirit, I've connected to myself, I've done healings, and I'm not really, just do this for day one, day two. Like I have been doing this for like a long time, and there are tons, there are years before me, but it's just like it's been through years, so I'm not recalling it. That doesn't mean that make me like a bad or like unskilled type of person. So yeah, I just want to kind of like remind you that maybe you feel right now, you feel stuck, you feel like, oh, my skills are bad, I'm not having enough of skill set, I'm not, good enough. I want you to kind of like get rid of that type of mentality, that kind of mindset, to just allow yourself to be in the flow. Like, yeah, sure, maybe you're not really knowing what you're doing, maybe you're not going to know what are the destinations, right? But it's like a saying that I saw somewhere online. It's like, to be able to create it, to be able to create, you have to allow yourself to create like a child. Because if you're not allowing yourself to be like a child who is like, like carefree, and then let the imagination run loose, then you will not able to be like create actually something. So yeah, first and very foremost is like, do not be nervous. Do not let the mindset of like not good enough take over you. Just allow it to happen, not trying to control it, was probably one of the best way that the next chapter or whatever next that you have in your personal plan, personal project could, help you with that. So yeah, that's the first thing. The second thing is to not overwork yourself, because here what I see and what I feel is like, okay, I really want to do this, I really want to do that. I feel like I have to do like a lot of things at the same time, because it's really going to help me in the future kind of thinking. And I also be like on the side of like check up all trade type of thing. Or what's the whole word? I think it's like jack of all trade is better than master of one. I think something like that. I'm sorry. I'm not really good at my English, and I'm not really familiar with the quotes and the thingy, and the idioms, thing. But yeah, something along the lines like that. I'm also one of the person who's like one of the people, not a person, sorry. I'm also one of the people that are like, I'm really interested in doing so many things, right? That's why I'm not able to keep up with the channel right now, because I've been doing a lot of things, I've been learning a lot of things as well. But sometimes when you're doing everything all at once, it just seems like overwhelmed for you, because then you will be like, you lose focus, you're going to be having a lot of burden on yourself, because you'll be like, okay, now that I have tried this thing, I have to be good at it, and then I'm also trying that thing, I should be good at it. And so there are so many responsibility and a lot of expectations from yourself to be like, oh, I have to be good, I absolutely have to be good at both of these things. But sometimes it needs time to master. It needing time to, practice. And when you're doing a lot of the things at the same time, each of those things is going to take just a little bit of your time. And then it would take you a little bit longer for you to actually master it. So I'm going to provide you an example because that's always what I do in my practice as well as in my reading. So let's take example for like, I really like doing tarot readings, right? But at the same time, if I'm also writing, like I'm trying to writing fan fictions, but I'm having uh too many, let's say like five at the same time. I have five different fan fictions, and each of them have like 20 to 30 plus character, original character, and then actual character that I put it in the fan fictions. And then also I was really interested in being like a waitress or like a baker because I get to learn all of this cooking, and then I also learn how to bake and at the same time. And then when I get home, I really get interested in, like drawing or like reading because it's allow myself to have the imagination run wise, right? So one day it's just 24 hours and I'm already being occupied with like five things. So that's just like a lot. And so each thing I can only spend for them like 1 to 2 hour maximums, right? And it's not to the fact that I also have to go to work. And then my actually working hours are like 12 hours for like a full day, like a full shift. Since I'm not really living in America, so I guess that wasn't really illegal anyway. I do get a deserved amount of money, but it still, took a lot of time for me. And so, as you can see, when I do things like that, yeah, it excites me, it's make me happy, but then when I finally get home, it's going to be like, oh, I'm so exhausted, I just want to go to sleep. And then when I actually go to sleep and then I wake up, oh, it's a new day already, and I get to do this thing. I get to do one of the five things, or I can do whole five things, but then my energy would really like run low because how could a human be like so occupied every day, not even like a rest day, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, in your situation it would be like, oh, I really want to do many things at the same time. I really want to handle many projects at the same time. But it's impossible if you're doing it alone. It's really impossible for you to do it alone. And you will be easily to be tempted. You will be easy to be caught in temptation. That's what I mean. So yeah, it's really like a thing that you should notice and like not get yourself to be indulged in it, because again at the same time you are right now you're kind of nervous about it, kind of nervous about your next chapter. And then when you actually on the next chapter and then you trying to build skill and you doing a lot of hosting, you can easily getting burned out, you know what I mean? And then the temptation might just be as well as, take a rest, let's not do this anymore, you don't have to do this anymore, maybe you can wait for the next season, kind of thing. So if you really want your life to be like actually improve, to actually flip onto like the new chapter, I would really recommend you to not burn out yourself and to just let things happen as they goes. Like let them unfold themselves. You just need to do your best. You just need to try, but you don't absolutely have to do every single thing. That's all. Thank you for listening to my readings, and I hope it will be helpful for you. And let's just say that your next chapter is very lovely. And yeah, so I guess I'll see you guys soon. Thank you and goodbye. Have a good one. Also remember, I'm actually have an account on Instagram, and I will opening my reading service very soon. So if you are interested, don't forget to click the follow buttons and a thumbs up if you enjoy this reading so far. Thank you. I'll see you guys. Bye. Hello, pie number 2. If you skipped the intros, here today we're going to have a meeting. I'm sorry, not a meeting, a reading for the what should you do, the advice. What should you do for your next chapter? I've done with pie number 1, and I find it a little bit more refreshing right now. The energy is a little bit, but it's okay, I guess. I'm hoping I'm doing better as pie number 2, but it's also maybe because I haven't done one of these for like so long, and I'm kind of scared too. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm actually feeling much more better right now. So let's see what are the advice for you for your next chapter, for your next chapter in life. Right, give me a second. We have much more cards than the first pie, so let me just see. Okay, so we have 5 cards, and here what I see is the very first advice on what you should do for your next chapter is that you really should trust your intuitions, your instinct to pick up after yourself, and then to leave whatever is not resonate with you in the past, because this is the only way for you to move on. You cannot move on to the next chapter, to the new page, if you just keep carrying on the old baggage. It's like, how can I explain this? I'll give you an example if that's make it any easier. For example, you cannot manifest your new lover if you just continue to think and mourning about your ex-lover. You cannot manifest someone who actually fits to your standard if you're not acting like the boundary that you should have. Let's take for an example. You cannot manifest someone who's being like respectful and kind and loving toward you when you're compromising, when you are like okay with a guy who's like average, who's like really disrespectful to women's, and who is just really unkind and kind of ugly, and they're just only like being nice to you because they kind of flirtation with you, they kind of want to be with you, like the type. So yeah, this will be like applied to every single area in your life. If you really want to move on, if you really want to leave all of this loop behind you, you have to pick up after yourself. You have to be like, okay, I've been messy, I've been having trouble in trusting myself and allowing myself to move on. Now that I will forgive myself, and then I would just be like, okay, let's start. Let's see. Okay, is this alright? Is this the right thing to carry on? Is this not the thing to carry on? Why am I still having feeling with this person? Why am I still having issue with this type of mindset? Things like that. You have to face up with those, and then you gotta pick. You gotta clean it. Just imagine yourself like in your own room, in your own world, and then there are so many things that you're still keeping there, but you're not actually touching it anymore, but it's there because you're allowing it to be there. You're allowed to yourself to be like thinking about it. Just throw it out the window, like physically. Like, think about it, imagining it like you actually throwing it out the windows, and then set some boundary, set some boundaries, and then breathe, breathe really hard. Trust your intuition, acknowledging it. Don't be like, okay, I see the sign, but I'm going to need another one to confirm. Or you need like a clear one to confirm. At one point it's gonna be like there will be no sign anymore. It will come out of nowhere. Your whole old life will just crashing down, will just be like it's not working anymore. It's not aligning with your highest self. It's not aligning to your path. So obviously it's going to fall. It's going to be like destructive everywhere. And so if you don't want things to get even uglier, try to separate you from the past, from this moment and on. And the second advice I'm seeing here is that you should allow yourself to be open to like a newer world. You should realize, to be honest, for the next chapter, you should realize that if you don't make the choices, no one will. And yeah, no one will make that choice for you. You cannot really rely on someone forever, and you can also rely on your emotion. Things has to go into like order. How do I say that? Sorry, I'm not really American. I'm not really like English speaker. The English language wasn't like my mother tongue, and wherever I live doesn't use English that much. So I'm sorry if it doesn't make sense right now. I will try my best to make it make sense. What I was saying is that people in tarot card also, it kind of divides into whether you listen to the heart or whether you listen to the head, right? When you listen to the head, it's usually meant to say that you have to acting accordingly with logic, with plans, with actually thinking. And for the heart, it's more of like impulsiveness, boldness, courageous. It's like you want to do this, and so you do it. For the advice, what I meant to say is that you cannot rely on your emotion. You cannot rely onto your heart. You cannot, just start acting because there's something hurting you, because there's something like burns in you. That's why you do it. But you have to act with the burn and then the logic and then the planning, the thing. Because if you're not planning ahead and you just do it with your emotion, then when your emotion kind of cool down a little bit, or like your emotions are getting too intense, you get exhausted from it, you will stop doing whatever you're doing right now. And that is not a good thing to do. That is really not the way, to do it. So I would really highly recommend you to be like, okay, I really wanted to do this, but I'm gonna planning it. So whenever I feel tired or exhausted even, I will have a routine to stick to it, to make sure that things happen, to make sure that I show up to this thing, even when my emotions are not there. Because again, the thing about being like committed with emotion is that there will be time where you don't feel like it. I said it because that's literally me. I know this. I've learned this by heart many times. There are times where I feel like, okay, I'm not really wanting to do any tarot readings. I really don't want to do anything in general, even though it was absolutely one of the most precious things to me. It's like the way that I relieve stress, the way that I created, the way that I was able to express myself. There are the times where I feel like I don't want to do it anymore. But with plans, with actual plans, with actually thinking and actually trying to, just show up for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I can actually going. I can actually continue going after that first 5 minutes, after that first 10 minutes, even when the first 30 minutes I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm so tired. I don't have any energy to it. But then when you're actually giving yourself the permission to act on it, to be like really acting accordingly, you will find a way. You will find the new world that you always looking for, that you always longing for, that you always see in your vision. You always be like, oh, I see that life. I don't wonder when that life will come to me. It is there, but you will have to be the one that allowing yourself to step out of the gate, to step out of your well. And I'm saying well as in the frog in the well, if you know what I mean. But yeah, you have to allow yourself to move on. Because if you're not the one who's moving, the world is not gonna come to get you. It's literally there for a reason, but it's just not going to come to you. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Even though I said I have 5 cards, but I think, yeah, that's pretty sum up the entire thing. Also, I would like to say that maybe you should consider being patient. Because yeah, not everything that you plan will appear overnight. Even when I'm doing these channels, I also know that the actual percentage of the people who's going to find my channels and who going to like my channel is quite unmeasurable. I don't know. I literally don't know. But there is a little vision in me to be like, okay, but if I'm doing this, there is a higher chance of people getting to know me more than when I'm not doing anything at all, right? So I have to try. But also I have to be patient because this is the very first videos that I'm doing after like the longest time. So I cannot expect it to blow up overnight, right? That's just being realistic. But also I'm just going to keep continue to do it because this is the way that I wanted to do it, because I like to. Not because of the result, not because of the outcome, not because of the benefit afterward. It's just that I want to do it because I feel like there will be someone in the future, or even myself, that I will come back to one day and be like, yeah, I needed that. So that's all. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy your reading part number 2. And I also have channels and Instagram accounts. I'm going to have the link in the description, and I will have my tarot reading sessions soon. So if you are interested or wanting to keep up whether I am going to have personal tarot readings, make sure to click the follow buttons and also give a thumbs up if this reading has been enjoyable to you. Thank you, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Goodbye. Hello, pie number 3s. How are you? So today we're doing readings on what should you do for your next chapter in your life. The advice for your next chapter, basically. I've done pie number 1, pie number 2. I haven't done one of these for so long, and I get a little bit nervous at first. I gained my composer pack in pie number 2, but I didn't feel like I was quite there yet. But let's see how pie number 3s are doing. I hope you guys doing well, because yeah, I'm also trying my best here. What are the advice, or what should you do, pie number 3, for your next chapter in your life? Ooh, this took a little bit longer than I expected, because the first part and the second part was like immediately falling out. So I guess it's like a quick one. But for you guys, I think it's more like uh it's kind of like, let's think about it for a moment and let's stop for like a moment to breathe, to be like, okay, maybe my next chapter isn't going to be there very soon. Just a few things to clear up, just a few things to like reorganize type things. So yeah, what is the next chapter? Oh, what is the next chapter advices? Oh, what should you do? What should you do for your next chapter in your life? I'm thinking about that one specific scene from my original books. If you listen to the first part and the second part, you will know that I actually have an interest on writing fictions. On writing fictions, I don't know. On writing fan fiction. But this is one of the fan fiction that I'm currently turning into like an original work. And so I remember this specific scene. It was placed in the first introduction to the character. It meant to be like I think it's a little bit meant to be like a metaphor for you guys, because Sissy, the female main character, was like, I have to take the risk. Because if I'm not taking the risk of getting to know the male main character, I will literally die on this hill. Like, it's literally really bad. It literally like it is a metaphor for an act of revolution. It is a risk, but it's worth a shot, because yeah, I think it's like a metaphor for like, you scare, you really not sure, because my female character is like, she knows herself. She knows herself really well to know that where she stands. She also knows that if she can use herself as like a spawn for the main character, then the male main character also like receiving a good deed from her. So she was like, it's good either way, because I'd rather having like meaningful dying than, not doing anything at all. And so it really makes me think about that one specific scenes of her being like all masked up, and her mask is like on, and she's like this confident girl, and she's like, oh, but you will love to do this with me. Oh, but you would, you know? And the male main character is just like, who is she? Why she's like, why she's so confident? Like, I don't get it, but it's worth a try. And only afterward, things happen, and he was like, oh, I'm not gonna let that happen ever again. But like, yeah, for me, for you guys, it's literally the first scene where she's be like, I'm really confident about this deal. Do we have a deal? Like that. I don't know why, but I think it's a metaphor for you guys to be like taking a risk. Fake it until you make it. Kind of scene, It's like, yeah, I think it's one of the advice that literally sent to you guys was like, you gotta fake it until you make it, because if you're not going to fake it, there's no way to take the risk. It will like fall apart. Your plan, it will not work. So you gotta fake it until you make it. Yeah, you're scared. You're scared of things going to happen to you, but you gotta fake it. That's all. Okay, so for pie number 3, what should you do for the next chapter of your life? As I said, which is kind of funny, the first card literally said that you will need time to be like Okay, what are the priorities here? What is my very first priority, and then what is my second priority is, and then the list goes on, but you have to put it like the top 5, top 7, top 10s only priority. Because if you're not reorganizing what is your priority is, you are not going to achieve any of your goals. You have to have the list. You have to be like, okay, this thing I need to accomplish first, and then the second thing I'm going to accomplish later, and then the third thing, like I said, it's also really resonate with the actual scenes that I just told you guys. Well, because the female main character, she was like planning ahead, but also her her very first motive when she approached the male main character is like, my very first goal right now is to not be killed by the male main character, because that's literally the first step, and I have to succeed at the first step. Because if I get killed, none of the rest are important. That type of energy. So for you guys, it's almost like the same thing. If you want to accomplish the second priority, the third priority, you will have to accomplish the first priority first. So for the next chapter, you really should sit down with yourself and be like, okay, what do I want the most? And how can I accomplish that thing first? And then whatever comes second, whatever comes third, they come along. And then you do those things come along. You will have to pick. You don't have you can have them all at the same time. I don't know, it's kind of like an old fashioned type of way to say that, oh, you cannot have your career and then your love life at the same time. I mean, that's really old saying, and I actually don't believe in that as well. But let's just say that to be well known or to actually accomplish in your career, you have to go for the very first step is to actually get into like a company that have a lot of opportunity for that specific place, for that specific career, right? Because if you're not getting to like any company, you're not getting into anywhere that you can actually learn and grow, then it's not really important that you get to networking, I guess. I don't know, because I don't really working as like an employee under like a company something, but that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel. That's what I see in this pie, especially. So yeah, you will have to have your plan, and you need to step up your games. You really need to. And also, the second things about what should you do for the next chapter of your life is that you really have to think as your higher self. You really have to think as your higher self, as someone in the higher position. You cannot think at who you are right now. And I know that the person that you are right now is amazing. You got skill, you got, you know, your way are the highway. You can do it. You can. But the thing is, if you're not allowing yourself to be seen in someone with much higher positions, then you might not able to see yourself where the people see you. How can I explain this? I'm not, this is the third time, but I'm also going to say it again. I am not an American. I'm not actually living in any state or anywhere that speak English mostly. So I'm actually having a hard time um, seeing if there's anything that I can express myself in the language itself. But yeah, I hope things make sense because I'm trying. Um, so what I meant to say is like, let's say that you are someone who is going on a job hunt, right? You see your job applications. It's great. You don't seem to understand why this thing doesn't matter, or like when people look at it and they go like, okay, it's really impressive, but we don't find you suitable with this position, sorry, like etc etc. You had to be the HR, the hiring recruiter, I think, yeah, to see why they're saying such thing like that. Like, if you are in the position of hiring someone else, what would you see in their, you know, CV, job applications? What would you see? What would you joke about it? What would you like about it? What would you not like about it? There are certain things like that. I said it because I was once an employee under like this company, and I also have the opportunity to be like study about all of this applicants, and I see like, oh yeah, it's good, it's all right, but there is this question mark about the time or about their job experience, and then whether or not it's suitable with the actually position that we are open, because they have to have something that's connected up within. So let's just say that, oh, I saw someone at a job application that said that, oh, they have a lot of experience in customer services, but for each job, they only work for like 2 months. And then the break time during those two jobs is like a year. Like, it's get, like complicated. It's, have questions mark all over. Like, is this person is like a committed person? Why does they seem like they have such like good family support that they seem like, okay, maybe if they're not fitting with this job, they could, just drop anytime. I know it's a corporate thing and it's really, really bad. But if you really want to step into a career that you like, you have to understand how the people that actually in the power of that career looking down, or like looking to those applicants, to those that are trying to get in the industry, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's an example that I can provide to you because that's actually what I did, and I was like, I can understand that I was the one that get picked comparing to those person, to those people who I took a look at, and all of them, like mostly all of them are like fell, but mine was getting picked, and I was like, I kind of get nervous around that. In the end, I worked at a job for like 6 months, half a year, right? Still a long time, to be honest, but it's just a little bit exhausting, and I don't want to live a life like that. And also, I want to be the person that sets example for all of my friends and all of my currents who are actually booking my tarot readings, and to be like, you see, I can do it, you can do it. It's just maybe not the same path, but I show you how to take risks, how to be calculated, things like that. How to choose, basically. So yeah, I think that's it. That's it for you guys for number 3. I hope it was enough. I hope it wasn't too short because I don't have a timer on me right now. I'm just doing it out of spite. I just got home and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, that's it. Pie number 3. Thank you. I hope that my reading is helpful for you, and I hope that you enjoy this reading as much as I do. I haven't yet to have such tarot sessions for glowing right now. I really don't. But if you wanted to know whenever I'm having it, I will link my Instagram accounts under the description. And also, don't forget to click follow buttons and a thumbs up if you have a great time with me, just like I had a great time with you. Thank you, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next video. Thank you. Goodbye. To wherever you are.